This is what I have to say. Another terrible match by Wrexham. Terrible, terrible. I've never seen such a dreadful performance as Wrexham had today. It's the third loss in a row. This hasn't happened since 2022, and we just need to step up. That's what we have to do now. And we're now in fourth position. We are behind Barrow, we're behind Mansfield, we're behind Stockport County. The only good thing that happened this round, this 30th round, was Stockport County not winning. Other than that, terrible, terrible, terrible. Okonkwo, man, he already made mistakes against Blackburn, and today again, we cannot have goals like the second one, like the first one. Those are terrible goals. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Completely unacceptable, those types of goals that we have conceded. And now in the fourth position, we're outside of the access zone, the direct promotion. And all we have to do now, all is left to do is drink. And honestly, I'm worried about this because it's not a surprise that we have few problems defensively, but that's also reflecting in our attack. Paul Mullin nowhere to be found. Paul Mullin hasn't been himself lately. In the last 3-4 games, terrible. We just can't see him, and nothing works. He's surrounded by players. Whoever's playing up front with him, it also does not drag that attention, does not drive people away from him. So nothing works. Elliot Lee playing too far from both attackers. He needs to drop back too far to get the ball, and then he just doesn't have the stamina to keep going forward. And that's where Elliot Lee is the best. That's where he can help us the best, being close to the box. And when he's too far apart, trying to get the ball back, our game simply would not work. We saw Luke Bolton and Jack Merritt playing. I mean, still for me, I can't see both of them being started anytime soon. Maybe Luke Bolton, and because of our right side situation, sometimes Jacob Mendy is playing there improvised. Some of the times we saw Ryan Barnett playing there. Anthony Ford has no consistency, and Ryan Barnett has been suffering with injuries. So maybe Luke Bolton is the guy that might have a better chance to become a starter, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. I still see that Jacob Mendy will probably have more chances there before Luke Bolton becomes a starter. And I think Jacob Mendy has more potential to be a starter than Luke Bolton. At least when it comes to right now, that's how I see things. Other than that, our backline with Hayden, Tunnicliffe, and Ben Tozer, I liked the names, but there's still something missing there. Sometimes was Luke Young. He was doing the defensive work in front of the defenders. Now we have Elliot Lee, George Evans, and Andy Cannon. So it's a little bit different. Luke Young is way more defensive, and George Evans and Andy Cannon, they have more quality. They're not as defensive as Luke, but at this point, we should have found a way to have all these players playing together without having holes in our defense, without having problems up front as well. It's the third loss in a row, and I think a red flag is we need to see the red flags when they're appearing for us. Anyway, for the next game against Bradford City, I hope a better game, better match. I like what I've seen from Stephen Fletcher, and the way the team that went to the field wasn't bad. If you consider that was practically the same team that played against Notts County. So I feel like it's just an attitude problem. When they were pressuring us, they always had one player, two players in marking, and we can't replicate that. And we cannot even get out from their pressure. If there are two players pressuring you, that means that at least one player is alone. And we cannot find that player at all. We don't have the speed to find that player. We don't have the speed to touch the ball to be able to find that player. And the result is just the consequences of what happened during the game. Anyway, I hope you guys, I'm not gonna say hope you guys enjoyed this video because there's nothing to enjoy, but at least I'm talking to you guys, and we'll get better, okay? We'll get better. We need to keep our heads up. We still have 16 games left until the end of the season. We have what it takes. Our campaign at home, it's absolutely impressive. 14 games. I think we had 14 games, 11 wins. Was it 2 ties and 1 loss? Is that it? I think so. So that's very impressive, very good performances at home. But we need to get better away. Away games are just dreadful. It's terrible. It's terrible. How come Harrogate Town has a better performance away than we? Of course, they suck at home, but how come they are better visitants than we are? Well, okay. That's it for today. I'm just frustrated, but for the next week, things will be better. And Wrexham up the town.